We continue. Dirshu Mishnah Brura Hilchos Devar Manay Hagim B'Seudah Simkuf Ayin Dalid. We're middle of the intricate and quite interesting halachas of yayin. Simkuf Ayin Dalid Sif Zayin. Says the Mechaber, Im Ein Lo Yayin V'Sheisa Mayim Lishar Mashkim. If one does not have wine and therefore he drinks water or other beverages, Ein Levarich Aleim. Why? We already know these rules in the previous sifim, because drinks are considered part of the meal. For what reason? As everyone knows, you do not eat without drinking. Continues the Mechaber. This really, we spoke this out in the previous sif, that ostensibly, wine does not really need its own bracha. Because wine is chashuv, it's the reish l'kol hamashkim. Therefore, kaveh bracha la'atzmai. Aval mayim yishar mashkim, but what are other liquids? Loi chashivi ve'einon tunim bracha, and therefore they do not need their own bracha. And the Mechaber points out, quoting Rabbeinu Yoina, let's say you were thirsty before the meal. So now the reason you're drinking really is not because of the meal. It's a separate reason. Says the Mechaber still, so why lemaisa didn't you drink before the meal? Says the Mechaber, because you don't want the water to harm you. You wanted to have a drink together with the Seudah. Therefore, we see that drinking the water is part and parcel together with the bread, and therefore the bread patters it. Says the Mishnah Berurah over here, Sivkatan Chav Ches Im Ein Lo Yayin, but you're drinking other liquids. Hasif Aleph, okay, we're going backwards. The Yayin Shem Chasidim Var Bracha Rishayna Af B'Sei Chasuda Misham Chashivus, as we've learned. Aval Shar Mashkin Light Nipalim LaSuda, other drinks or automatically considered nitbal or auxiliary to the meal. Says the Mishnah Berurah b'tei chasuda divorce him kavayin zayin. Tein bracha aleim din afarim bracha zamaiti. Ve'inon tunin bracha sivkat and lamed. Loi lefnehem v'loi achreim. Va'afilu ameim ba'im acher gemar suda. Points to the Mishnah Berurah, answering all the questions that one might have based on the previous sif, where we made differentiations exactly when you drink the wine, as it may be at different points it's not considered part of the Seudah. Says the Mishnah Berurah, no. Even if you're having other drinks, and even if you have it after you finish the meal, as we saw in the previous sif, it's always considered till the moment that you bench, or actually we're going to see to the moment you say Sharamalos or Ma'imachronim, etc. It's always considered during the meal, because we always have bread until the final moment, and therefore even if you have a drink at the very end, still there would be no bracha. So you don't have water on an empty stomach. Going back to the Mechaber continues. V'yesh Aimrim, according to the Shita, the Rashi, the Ravid, Ladas the Ish Mefarshim, Yesh Aimrim say what as we turn over the page? Levarich alamayim shebesuda. There is a Shita, says the Mechaber, that you indeed make a bracha on water during the meal. V'yesh machmir ma'oid, levarich aleim b'chol pam. There are some that have a chomra that you always make a bracha on them each time. Tistama nimlachu b'chol pam, because we assume that each time it's considered nimlach. It's considered that you're changing your mind, that it's a new Gemira stas, it's a new Kviyah stas, each drink that you have, and therefore you need to have a new brach. Says the Mechaber, so what do you want to do? Quoting the Rosh, you want to get out of all issues. Yeshev kodim netila b'mekayim sudasai v'yivarich al das lishtais b'toich sudasai. Says the Mechaber, before you eat, what should you do? You should sit down, make a bracha, and have in mind that you're going to keep on drinking during the meal. Says the Ramah, as everyone is wondering, they've never heard of this. The minhag is like the first svara that we consider everything part of the meal, and therefore we do not make a bracha on drinks during the Seudah. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sevkatal Amebeis, v'yesh ayim levarich, haynu bracha rishayna, tisvirlu dedina k'may peirais. What's the reason that they hold? The reason is because they hold that the din of Shar Mashkin is like Peirush that you eat during the meal. Titzarech bracha lefneim, they need a bracha before them. Aval bracha achrayna l'kul yam leftar berach zamazin. The fight over here says the Mishnah Berurah is only about bracha rishayna, but bracha achrayna, everyone agrees, is pattered by benching. Sivkat Lam Gimel Hamayim Vodin L'Sharkol Amashkim. Vav Al Gavdi Ein Chashvin Laba Machmas Seudah. Says the Mishnah Berurah, even though yayin is considered that it's part of the meal, Dirak Misham Chashivus Asarch Bracha. Now, as we've seen, that the only reason you're making a new bracha on wine is due to its chashivus. It's the Rosh of Kol Mashkim. But be'etzem, inherently, wine is part of a meal. Yayin shayni disad libatvei. Wine is different. Why? Because it satiates you. And it's coming to open up to give you more taiva to eat. We do not have these svaras. And that's the reason why there's this chomer to make a bracha. The Mishnah B'chaber continued, v'yesh b'achmir in tvei, to make a bracha each time. Even according to this opinion, Davka by water do we say that mistama you changed your mind, because you only drink water for thirst. Beer and other drinks, it's not considered that you changed your mind. And one bracha will suffice for everything. Ach lekerish v'daimeyan shein saizim kim letzamai, drinks you only drink for thirst. Dinin kumamayim l'deya zu. On the bottom over here they teach lekerish as shush. Sheirish matoka mamtik is a mashke, some sort of sweet drink that's also only drank for tzamai, for thirst. Then it would maybe have this chumrah to make a bracha before each drink. Continues Mishmur Sivkat Lamed, quoting the Mechaber that what we have a chumrah. How do you get out of the problem? The rush that you make a bracha kaidim netila. After netila you shouldn't be mafsik. V'avdala d'sivdala shayni misham d'asal lachol kodim avdala. B'makim Seudah Sivkat Lamed vav. V'lo yishanim imkaimei, don't move. Dibishini makams are levar shein is k'shei zacher. Kakin have to make a new bracha when you change place. K'bor sim kovayin ches. V'alkein loitikin klam. Therefore, you're not going to help anything. Continues Mishnah Berurah Sivkat Lamed Zayin. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit down, kaidim netila, v'yavarich Sivkat Lamed Zayin because achreinim tiyizayir lishtais pachas v'revius. So you're making a bracha in the place of your meal, a shahakal on the drink, but have less than a revius. Why? Then you're not helping anything if you had a revius. Why? Because then you have something if they can do bracha right now. Because the same svara that these drinks are not part of the meal would say you should have made a bracha right beforehand. It's not part of the meal since you drink it before netila. Therefore, rabbis. The Mishmur over here is sort of hinting, throwing in another potential eitzah, that if you were to bench on sheikhar, and therefore you're going to be making a shahakal, and you're going to drink it after benching, and then of course you're going to have to make a bari nefashais, that also would work, because that bari nefashais would go backwards on all drinks during the meal. Al das, sivkat alameches, or you should have someone else who's not part of the Seudah make the bracha and have in mind to pat you. And we concluded over here, said the Mechaber, we concluded, says the Ramah, that the minhag is kisvar rishayna. We conclude with the final Mishnah Berurah in which he teaches us that the minhag is kisvarach rishayna, which is that no brachas are made on any beverages, aside for wine, that is, during a Seudah. So says the Mishnah Berurah, Sivkat Lamed Tes, V'atam k'delel, fi she'ein achila b'lo yishtia. There's no eating without drinking. V'avi k'dvarim abayim machos ha'Seudah. And it's like items that come during part of the meal. What about schnapps? You need a bracha. You're not drinking that because you're thirsty. Says the Magen Avram, during the meal you do not need a bracha. What's the reason? Because then it comes to awaken your taiva to eat. And that's part and parcel of a Seudah, to get you to eat more. Similarly, if you're having fruit to continue the eating, which this Mishnah Berurah here line is a loaded line, because this is calling into question what exactly happens with dessert. This is the compote, which is such a debated topic. As Mishabur over here parenthetically points out, Kol lemonish maluchin, they had pickled lemons, zayis maliach, salted olives, or ugerkis maluchin, pickled ugerkis, all different wonderful pickled vegetables and stuff and fruits like that. It's not like other things that need a bracha, because these don't. These are more meal, fruit, vegetable type of items. Says Mr. Bura, be'emes, we should do like the mechaber. That what? What should he do? You should make a bracha on a little bit of schnapps before you wash your hands. Having in mind to pat every time during the meal. Ella concludes the Mishnah Bura. She'oilam nohagu lahakel. Lamaisa says Mishnah Bura, even though in reality one should make a bracha before the Seudah to pater all these safek shahakol drinks during the Seudah, the minhag is to be mekel v'yesh lam amalis moich v'chol zeh b'toich Seudah. V'lim shos tzayyin sarv acher Seudah if you had it after the meal does bevadei daitei rak l'akol hamazoin, just to help to digest in the kuliyam sarich bracha. If you have a shot, let's say after the meal right before you bench, you need a bracha. Kol makom near ali says Mishnah Bura demacha meichel shamin v'lokach. And this is why things are going to get very difficult in the Balabatishkeit. If you had a fatty meal, and now you're having a little bit of yain tzaref lahafik shamnunis, not to help the digestion, but to clean the palate. Shabepev and ruggle means that you do this all the time. That is b'chlal tafel eichel. So it's things that are mouth, throat related are part of the meal, but stomach related is not. Valkena therefore avim u'acher gemara suda in tzarech levarich. Kasav achayod. You have a cup of Joe after the meal. Why are you having a cup of coffee during a meal? That's not normal. Says the Chai Adam, it must only be to help in the digestion. Therefore, bracha rishayna. Therefore, you need a bracha rishayna. Says the Chai Adam, but it's not so simple. So what should you do? Have a little bit of sugar, lifter esakove, make a shahakol and a little bit of sugar, and then you'll patter up the coffee. Why? Kivar kiddush alakais, because you already made your hagavan alakais, and we know so you're not going to have any problem. So you won't have any issues. The only issue that one's going to have is a little bit of schnapps after one eats. You have to figure out, is that for the digestion or is that to remove the shamnunis? If it's to remove the shamnunis, there's no bracha. If it's a digestion, there is a bracha. And the coffee after the meal, again, if it's la'akal hamazah, and if it's not for that, then you would need a bracha. But if it's the middle of a Shabbos meal, then the agafen paters. Anyways, I'll pick it up from Sivchas in the next year, B'siyata Dishmaya.